Hey guys, welcome back to the homestead. And today I wanted to show you a project I did here in the garage. And I put this Big Max, Mr. Heater, Big Max heater up. It's an 80,000 BTU heater. And one of the things I want to do is show you how I put it up, give you the cost of it, and maybe go over a couple things that I learned while putting it up. Because when I was putting it up, now I've ran propane lines because we live in the sticks here, so I have to heat with propane, but I've never hung one of these heaters up and they're or vented a heater. So those are two things I had never done before. So I want to share what I did, the cost of doing everything, and maybe give you a little advice that I had kind of had to look up myself. So check this out. Okay, so that is the heater right there. Now they make like three different sizes of these. They make like this is the 80,000 BTU. It's the middle one. They make one that's a little bit bigger and one that is smaller. This is good for 2,600 square feet, a little over 2,600. I have way less than that. I have a 40 by 30 garage, if you can see. Pretty good sized garage, but this is way more than that. But I'm going to put a ceiling in here next year. I just haven't done that yet. But last year I used this, if you can see this DeWalt, sorry, all my hunting gear's out. Archery starts this Saturday, so I'm getting ready. I used a 60,000 BTU heater here, and that did the trick. And once I got it heated up, I would use that for propane. The problem is that thing is really loud. And this thing is way quieter, and I'll show you that. I'll fire it up. So anyway, what I did is I have a tank outside, a 125 gallon tank, and I ran it into here with black pipe, and then I put a shutoff valve, and then I got this 20-foot hose. I used to make propane hoses and hydraulic hoses, so I was very familiar with that. And ran it over here. This hose cost me about $49, so roughly 50 bucks for this 20-foot hose. Makes your life a lot easier than black piping it. And it isn't really a whole lot more. A little bit more, but not much more. Then I came to black pipe there, put another shut-off valve, and then that's a 3-foot, the yellow gas line there is a 3-foot 5/8 hose. Now everything else is 1/2 inch, black pipe and the hose I got. And the fittings on the end of your 5/8 gas line are going to be 1/2 inch as well. 1/2 inch pipe that will go into the shut-off valve there. And I also hung it, since I wanted it kind of at an angle here, I put 3 2x4s across 3 rafters. And I just attached them with some little angles, if you can see right there. And then I just drilled holes through them when I got it angled up. Now this thing is not light. It's probably around 70-ish pounds. So you're gonna need a couple people. What I did is I have bucket forks on my bucket. So I just lifted it right up to where I wanted it, and then that made my life a lot easier. So if you have something like that, it will save you a lot of time. I vented it out. I did a horizontal vent, and this is a double-walled 4-inch pipe. That pipe cost me $29. It was a 5-foot pipe, and I'll show you the other end. The wall thimble there was $25, I believe, and then I bought some caulking. So I bought some expensive caulking on the outside and inside. It's high heat vent caulking. It was $20 a tube. I probably used maybe even not even a quarter of the tube, but the only thing that isn't double walled is I have a adjustable elbow. We can do a 90 or a 45, and I screwed that in there and got my angle correct, and then I taped where it's connected there, but I also screwed that as well into it. So it goes out there, but just a note on horizontal venting is you got to have a slight, it has to go upwards, slight angle upwards. And it's not very much. It's like a 1/4 inch every foot or more. You can do more, which I did. I did a little bit more than that. But it has to be a 1/4 inch every foot. So just remember that. So these heaters here, this one here in particular, has to be on a 10-foot ceiling, and my rafters are 10 foot in the air. They recommend a 10-foot ceiling. You probably get away with a 9-foot, but you wouldn't want it much lower than that. And so the other thing is I had the flexible coated wire. I had a bunch left over, and I just wired this right to my electrical panel. It runs right down into my electrical panel. And then I put this is very easy too. I put a 20 amp breaker in there. And all it is red, black, and white. Very easy to wire. If you know basic electricity, you can do this. If you can see some wires of red and white wires coming off here, that is for the thermostat that I have right here. And this is just a cheap thermostat I bought. It is a Mr. Heater. It was $18. And we'll turn that on in a minute, but I was going to show you outside the venting and the my propane tank. Okay, sorry about the lighting. It's like after 7, almost 7:30. So that is my propane tank. And that is the vent there. Now here where I live in Pennsylvania, you got to be a foot outside your furthest part of your roof. So I'm probably, I don't know, 4 inches more than that, maybe 16 inches out. And then I have a vent cap there that you can use either vertical or horizontal. There's my wall thimble. I also, wow, that's a loud vehicle. And then I just caulked it with a high temperature caulk. And then there is my propane tank. That's 125 gallon. And there's where it goes in to the garage. So let's go fire this up. Okay, so in the garage right now, it's probably about 66 degrees. It's actually probably a 60 outside. It was 40 degrees this morning when I got up. Nice and chilly getting that time of the year. So we're gonna fire this up. So we're just gonna turn the thermostat on. I'll just turn it all the way up just so it kicks on. There's no pilot on these, as you probably know. And most new heaters don't have pilots at all. Just electric start. And it takes about a good minute to get warmed up and fired up, and then you'll hear the electric start here in a minute. And we'll fire up the pilot light, or the flame lights that heat it. There it goes, you can hear it. I just fired up. This is the fan on the back of it too. You can see. And you can hear it. I mean, it's not, you know, ridiculously, you know, you're going to hear it run. It's not super like silent or anything, but it's almost like your furnace at home. Maybe a hair louder, but that's kind of what you're going to hear. So should be kicking on here in a minute. There, it is on. And I can feel that heat. So we'll walk right up so you can hear it. That's the fan right there running. So as you can see, it's not like horribly loud. And we get super cold winters here, but the other night I came out, it was 50 degrees. I came out like 2 in the morning when I hooked it up, because that night it got down to like in the 40s, but it was 50 when I came out here. And I cranked that up and I got it to 70 degrees in here in 15 minutes. So it was nice, really nice. Okay, we're gonna shut her down. And it takes a couple minutes to cool down, so we'll just shut it right off. Okay guys, let me go over the cost with you, how much this cost me to do this. So the heater itself was $530 plus tax. I spent on my black pipe shut off, the yellow gas line, and the 20-foot propane line. I spent about $120 on that. I spent about $80 on all my venting, you know, pipes and caulking and all that. And I spent and the thermostat was $18. So roughly around $750 for everything. Now I already had the wire. So if this is something you're gonna do, and the breaker as well those are extra expenses, you'd have to figure into it. But about $750 to do this. It was actually relatively easy. The challenges would be, if you don't have someone to help you hold it up, if you don't have something that, you know, like a tractor or forks or something to hold it in the air, that would be a challenge, because this thing is not light. And the other thing was venting. I didn't have a lot of experience on horizontal venting. I have helped out with a wood stove before, putting a vertical vent in, but I've never done horizontal. So that was something I had to kind of research. And I didn't really know about the upward angle you needed the pipe to be. So that was something new for me that I learned. So kind of sharing that with you, maybe help you out. I also had uh, like I said, the wiring and the breaker, that would be something you'd have to figure out if you needed that for if you're going to do this. So I think for $750, and this thing really heats good too. I have tried it a couple times because we get some cold weather, and we've had some really cold weather. We've actually, one morning I got up at 5:45 to go to work, and it was 39 degrees out. So we're already getting those temperatures, and pretty soon we can have snow in October. So I'm excited to use this when it's super cold and see how it works. So there it is, Mr. Heater, uh, Big Maxx 80,000 BTU heater. So thanks for watching, y'all. God bless.